Okay, so my main account is here. Well, I mean, it used to be here, and now it's just sort of decayed down to diamond. Because, there's only like one or two friends up there that I could queue with in comp, and most of my friends were down here. So I play a lot, at least now, I play a lot of comp on my alt account with my friends, which is down here. So I can, play with them. So we actually have 7 people that we six stack with. It just depends on, who's online and available to play versus who's not at that certain moment in time. I think we're actually really lucky in the sense that our six stack is pretty evenly balanced. Like, we don't have too many DPS players, we don't have like too many support players. Like, so our two tank players, basically Nick and Preston, I'll throw up their text colors too, just so you can at least associate them better in the videos. So those are our two tank players there. And then there's Massimo and I on support. I'm usually the one playing a main healer, and then Massimo's playing an off healer. Now, while Moss is usually playing an off healer when we six stack, he can also flex. He can actually flex pretty well onto other tanks or even other DPSs if we need him to. And then filling in the rest of the gaps, there's Marco and Andrew, who are usually both our DPS players. Now, sometimes we swap out Andrew and we queue with Charles, who is a flex god. Usually he plays DPS, at least in our six stack, but he is such a good flex player. He can flex into anything we need him to. So if we're running like a triple tank, or even quad tank, like you saw in the Hanamura episode, like we have a lot of flexibility with what we can do. Like, in fact, Mark is a flex DPS. Charles is just a flex in general. Moss is a flex as well, and Andrew's a bit of a flex, but it's a bit of a stretch to call him that. I mean, I can play basically any support you want me to. And so I'm the shot caller of the team, right? So I determine the team compositions, like what we're going to run. I also call dives and pushes, and also coordinate which plays or which strats we're going to run, as well as like tell our team which enemies to focus. But for the most part, like, the rest of my team does that pretty well on their own. Like, during the middle of a team fight, I could just go silent, and Mark, Moss, Preston, they'd all do a pretty good job of, focus of calling out targets, which ones to focus, and calling out enemy positions. It's just like I make the bigger decisions and whatnot. So the idea for this video just sort of came up out of nowhere. I think this is kind of boring. I honestly don't think that this video will be very interesting to many people. But I mean, if you wanted to know more about how our six stack works, then there you go. I hope you enjoyed it.